Obviously not, Mr. Murphy said. Dear me, what's the use of being disgraced to name a wizard if they don't even pay you well for it? What's the use of being a disgrace to the name of wizard if they don't even pay you well for it? Mr. Weasley flushed darker than either Ron and Ginny. We have a very different idea of what disgrace the name of Richard Malfoy, he said. Clearly, said Mr. Malfoy, his pale eyes turned to Mr. and Mrs. Granger, who were watching apprehensively. The company you kept Weasley, and I thought your family could sink no lower. There was a thought of matter as Jenny Calder went flying. Mr. Weasley had thrown himself and Mr. Malfoy, knocking it backward into bookshelves. Dozens of heavy spell books came thundering down on over their heads. There was a yell of "Get him, Dad!" from Fred and George. Mrs. Weasley was shrinking. "No, Arthur, no!" The crowd stamped backward, knocking more shelves over. "Gentlemen, please, please," cried the assistant, and then louder than all, "Break up, dear gent! Break up!" Hagrid was walking toward them through the sea of books. In an instant, he had pulled Mr. Weasley and Mr. Malfoy apart. Mr. Weasley had a cut lip, and Mr. Malfoy had been hit in his eye by an encyclopedia of Tolstoy. He was still holding Ginny's old Transfiguration book. He thrust it at her, his eye glittering with malice. "Here, girl, take your book. It's the best your father can give you." Pulling himself out of Hagrid's grip, he backed on to Draco and swept from the shop. "Yeah, shouldn't ignore him, Arthur," said Hagrid, almost lifting Mr. Weasley off his feet as he straightened his robe. "Rotten turd of coal, the whole family. Everyone knows that. No Malfoy's words to listen to. Bad blood, that. What is it? Come on now, let's get out here." The assistant looked as though he wanted to stop them leaving, but he barely came up to Hagrid's waist and seemed to think better of it. They hurried up the street, and the Granger shaking with fright, and Mrs. Weasley beside herself with fury. "A fine example to set for your children, brawling in public. What Gilderoy Lockhart must have thought." "He was pleased," said Fred. "Didn't you hear him as we were leaving? He was asking that Belloc from the Daily Prophet if he'd be able to work the fight into his report. Said it was all publicity." It was a subdued groove that hurried back to the fireside in the leaky cauldron, where Harry and Weasley and their shopping would be traveling back to the Burrow using Flu powder. They say goodbye to the Granger, who were leaving the pub for the Muggle Street on the other side. Mr. Weasley started to ask them how does that work, but stopped quickly at the look on Mrs. Weasley's face. Harry took off his glasses and put them safely in his pocket before helping himself to Flu powder. It definitely wasn't his favorite way to travel. Okay, so I read this Harry Potter story this day, and I read 10 pages today, and Harry was traveling to the diagonally to buy some book before starting the new class, but he hadn't traveled before that time using Flu powders, and when they are they were about to go travel to Diagon Alley using full powders. They told Harry to use this, but it wasn't difficult to use this full powder for traveling, and Harry followed Ron's family, and he used full powders. He poured his full powder in the fire and screamed aloud, "Go to Diagon Alley!" But it maybe there was something wrong. So Harry couldn't go to Diagon Alley, but Harry went to the Nocturne Alley, and Nocturne Alley is the place where the Dark Wizard sold something or sold something or bought something to magic, something for magic. But it is very dark road and it is very dangerous road. But Harry found that he was in the cabinet in the Nocturne Alley, and he opened the door of the cabinet, but he saw the two men, and Harry knew the boy. The boy was Draco Malfoy, and there is the older man. So Harry thought it would be Draco Malfoy's father, Lucius Malfoy, and they are talking with the master of the shop, and they told him to sell something. After that, they are leaving the shop. The master of the shop was muttering by himself. He would not buy something from Lucius Malfoy. After that, Harry, after disappearing, the man disappearing in the room, Harry opened the door and went out the shop, and he went wrong side the road, but the old wizard told him to buy something weird things. And then Harry listened. Harry was told. Harry listened the voice of Hagrid, and Harry met Hagrid in the road, and Hagrid told Harry, "What's the matter? Why are you here in Nocturne Road? It's very dangerous road. You must not be here." But Harry says about he used the full powder at first, and he couldn't travel in the right direction, right place. Instead, he traveled in the Nocturne Road, and Hagrid went to the Diagon Alley, and he met Hermione's family and Ron's family in the diagonally, and they are going to the shop to buy some book, and they met Lockhart, Gilderoy Lockhart in the shop, and Gilderoy Lockhart is very famous people, and he is about to be a teacher in the schools, and as a doctor wrote teachers, music defense teachers, and he saw the Harry Potter in the shop, and he is telling Harry what a wonderful idiot he is. You are famous Harry Potters. And Harry doesn't want to be told by Gilderoy Lockhart, but it is too late, and anyway, it is very difficult to say the story in my English because my English is too. I think it is difficult to speak in English because I don't know well in the paragraph or words, and sometimes when I want to talk in English, it is I have some limit. I have some limit of my explanations in English. Anyway, from today's, I will record my video every day, usually in lunchtime, and I will talk to you about my life and my hobby and my reading story. Today is my first time, but it is difficult for me to say in English, but tomorrow I think it will be improved day after day. Okay, let us go today.